Well, good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing good. It is a hot, muggy day here in Middle Georgia. Got a little bit of machine work that we've got to do, and hopefully that will keep us out of the heat and humidity and in the shop where we do have a little bit of air conditioning. Whether it'll do any good or not, we'll see. So let's get started. This is a 1990 Mazda b2200 that I picked up for a little shop truck and runaround truck, and we're doing a couple of things. The valve cover leaked oil, distributor was cracked, all of the hoses were way past time, need to be replaced, as well as some of the belts. And over here, I don't know if you can see, all of this is all vacuum lines, every bit of it. And right here, there was a canister and some solenoids and just a ton of vacuum assist stuff that was leaking, cracked, missing. It was a nightmare trying to track down where the vacuum leak was. So I did some searching on the interweb, and there's a web page or YouTube page called Mazda Mitch, and he talked about getting rid of all of the vacuum stuff and using the same factory carburetor, just without all of the vacuum and electronic stuff. So that's what we're going to do. So we've stripped everything off the carburetor. You can see we're plugging vacuum lines. I've still got some to go. You can see one down there. And the only vacuum line is this one. I've got to cut it a little shorter, but runs from a vacuum port on the bottom of the carburetor to the vacuum advance on the distributor. And so that's really the only vacuum line we're really going to have from the carburetor, I believe. But the breather took up this entire area. It was a massive, massive breather. And we're going to swap it over to this little thing. And it'll work great. We had studs right here that we removed. We had a stud right here that only came up about that high. So we've taken all that out, and we should be able to just put this plate on. The problem is, you can see this is just over 3 inches and this is 5 1/4. So they don't really fit. So I talked with the auto parts store, and they can order me an adapter that'll go from this to that, but it's plastic and it's going to take about 2 weeks to get. And then I thought about it, and it's like, well, I've got aluminum and I've got a lathe. Let's make an adapter bracket. All right, y'all, so we've got our blank zeroed in the lathe. We're going to put a center in it, and then we're going to face this side, flip it over, and do the other side. Alright, so you can see on this side we've got a good cut, but over here we've still got some burrs. You can see the line right there, the gouge from the saw blade. So we've got to do a little more facing. Also, you can see where I've cut this little relief right here. All this is for is, before we finish up here, we're going to go on and drill this and bore it to size, so that I can flip the jaws around, hold it internally, and then this will be my mark to zero the piece back out, and it'll be concentric with the center. Now we've got this inner dimension cut where the the bottom of the breather will fit on it. I need to trim this edge down some, and then we want to cut a taper from here into here so that it's not a flat surface across here. So we're going to cut this outer dimension first, and then we'll start working on that taper. All right, that's looking a lot better, a lot closer. Probably going to do about a 20 thousandths cleanup pass just to get this finish to look a little better. You can see right here I chamfered this back edge. That's for clearance, and again, get rid of sharp edges, make it look a little better. So let's take about a 20 thousandth cut off of this to clean this finish up. I think we'll be done with the outer diameter. See that finish? So now we're going to come in, we're going to face this side and start putting our taper in on this face. So we've set the compound, instead of being 90 degrees, it's at an angle, which will move the cutter in this direction. As you can see, we've already done a small test pass and it's started cutting the bevel. Now, if you notice the cutter, it's at a bevel too. Originally this cutter was straight. It was a 90 degree straight down and back. But when I did the test pass, this lower edge caught, and you can see that indentation right there. You can see the change in color. That's where the bottom of the cutter was catching. So I took it to my grinder, beveled this end of it so that it won't catch. Now we're gonna give it a shot, see what happens. You can see the finish. It's a little grainy, but that's because I have no automatic feed for this, so I'm having to turn it by hand, and it has interruptions in the cut, but I think that'll do a real good job. So let's continue on and see what we can do. So a little bit of redneck engineering. In order to control the speed on the crossfeed or the compound, since I have to turn it by hand and I want a consistent speed, took this rod, welded a piece of hex bar to it, and I can just turn it really slow on the drill. If I put it in my compound, it'll feed it in and out at a steady speed. And all I got to do is just change the direction of the drill. So hopefully that'll get me cutting a little steadier and I can get a good finish on the product. As you can see right there, we had a little bit of a clearance issue. I don't know if I can, there you go. And so we came in and we cut, let's see, we cut the outer edge down some, so you've got this recess, which gave us plenty of clearance. So now when it fits on, it fits really well. You've got plenty of clearance in there. You've got the groove right here that, let's see if I can grab it here. That edge of the air filter will fit into. So take it, it fits on like that. As you can see, we're tapered in, so airflow is not hindered. Now granted, this isn't a performance engine, but still, it should flow a little better. And then once we put the filter and the cover on, you can see it fits really well. It does stick up a little, but with the hood, we've already tried to put the hood on and it does fit. It doesn't interfere, so I would call that a win. Okay, so this was a little different. Like I said, it's not something that I get to do a whole lot, but it was easier to make the adapter than it was to wait for a plastic one to come in from overseas, and this worked out good. So it didn't take me long to make it. We've got it on the truck and should be able to move forward from there. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching. Hope you're having a good day. God bless, take care, and we'll see you on the next one, okay?